I'm Shubha Das. I'm Associate Director at Curve. Curve is one of the UK's largest producing theatres. In my role as Associate Director here, I oversee how we develop new work in the region, working both with local and national and international artists to create new stories to share with our communities and audiences here in Leicester. So Leicester is significantly one of Europe's most culturally diverse cities. And so the idea of having a facility like Curve, which is an extraordinary multi-million pound art centre, one of the things that was really at the heart in the inception of why this building was created was to look at how culture can bring all of those different audiences together.
I'm Shruti Chauhan. I'm a poet and performer. I'm based in Leicester. I was born and brought up in Leicester, and I have my roots in Gujarat, India.
I'm Louise White. I am a solo theatre maker, although that doesn't mean that I make shows completely on my own. What a lonely, lonely existence that would be. No, I own my own theatre company, which is Louise White Theatrician. I come from Nottingham originally, but I studied my craft down in Devon and Cornwall at Dartington College of Arts.
I'd say I was always a performer, whether that was dance or putting on little plays for friends and family, and then I did drama GCSE and I was really good at it, but then I abandoned it in favour of more conventional subjects like sciences. But then I found my way back at university when I was doing a module in performance writing, so I discovered performance poetry and never looked back.
Got into performance around 13 or 14, so not super young, but because I actually really I was really academic to begin with and didn't really find theatre until I was about 13 or 14 and had a really great drama teacher. And he made me realise that theatre wasn't just this hour a week that you got to mess around and not be behind a desk for once. There was a discipline to it and a hard work, and there was something really captivating about the way he taught and his passion for the subject and his knowledge about the subject.
The Breakthrough programme at Curve is an artist development programme for local artists. So they offer a lot of support, whether that's in-kind support, workshops, a bursary for any kind of course they might want to attend, or any other development opportunities.
Really, for us, it's our way to help more artists come into a building like this and understand how it works. Because of the scale and nature of our spaces, our venues here are 300, 900 seats, and one of our priorities is to be making work in Leicester that we can then help travel all over the country and the world.
It offers mentoring and support for artists who are trying to start up their careers and develop their careers in the first few years of what they're doing.
And it all culminates in the Inside Out Festival, which showcases, they have a chance to showcase their work on stage.
Biggest thing I learnt from the Breakthrough Companies programme is to be confident in your work. There might be times where to develop yourself in a different way, you might want to do something a little bit out of your comfort zone, and people might go, "Oh, can you pull that off?" And you have to go, "Well, I don't know, but I would like to try."
I've learned a lot through the Breakthrough programme. I've learned a lot from my peers, I've learned a lot from the artists that we've worked with and the associate director, and it was also the first time that I went about devising my own show, my first solo show, and presenting that to an audience. So it was a massive learning curve and I learned a lot.
First performance ever, as a professional artist anyway, was a show called Pandemonicon, which was a really bad pun. And it was a set up as a sort of board game convention in a cafe where the audience would come and play different board games.
When work is diverse, when there are multiple voices collaborating to make work, the work is better, the work is richer, the work is more extraordinary.
So I grew up in this country, and Gujarati was my mother tongue, and that was what we spoke at home. And I think that I tried to, within that poem, try to capture the experience of when I was learning the English language for the first time and coming to that language from Gujarati and the confusion that I felt. So I guess it throws up questions about translation and identity. She didn't let me ask what type of an uncle, what type of an aunt, were they from my mother's side or my father's? See, uncle for me was crammed with obscurity, and aunt, well, it felt incomplete because I knew the truth.
The second show I made is called Debris, which I'm still touring. It's an autobiographical show about my experience with depression. And he kept telling me that I was doing it wrong.
May I find you? May we sit together when we're growing old?
Again, it's quite relaxed. There's lots of audience interaction, lots of just talking to the audience on a very grounded kind of level. It's a really close show to my heart because it's obviously about something that's very sensitive. The show that I've just made is The Dead Sea. The jellyfish majestically glides. And that's a show about conservation. It's a show about a girl who loved playing in the bath when she was a kid, and she grew up to be a marine biologist. But she has an accident early on in her career which makes her afraid of the ocean, which is kind of a problem for a marine biologist. So she has to overcome that fear, and while she does that, she is exploring all the things that she needs to help save about the ocean as well.
Three the Hard Way is a term which derives from Jamaican DJ culture, where the DJs respond quite spontaneously to each other's sets. And what we did is we reappropriated that in a poetry format.
In Sanskrit was a sin.
I never said that I could sing.
That which can be heard.
A dog.
So there were three of us. There was Jean Binterbreeze, MBE, Lydia Towsey and myself, and we produced an hour-long show where we were responding to each other's poems in quite a raw, spontaneous way. And yes, we toured it around the country, 10 venues across the UK, and it was brilliant. It was so much fun.
I've got a portfolio on my website, so people can see videos and images and copy that describes the work.
I vlog on Instagram now and then, and also on Twitter. When we were on tour with Three the Hard Way, we were doing workshops in different venues, and I think it just naturally progressed from there. So following Three the Hard Way, I was establishing myself more and more as a solo artist, and I had people getting in touch asking me if I could do poetry workshops in schools or community settings, so I started doing them.
Keep going is the main thing, and try not to compare yourself to others. Even slow progress is progress. Go at your own pace. Because I learned a lot from my depression and my mental health problems, and the thing that really is quite detrimental if you're starting out is to burn yourself out. There's such an urge to try and do as much as you can and take every opportunity you can. It's like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do that and I have to be seen to be doing everything, and you don't. I think it's all about managing what's on your plate, taking the opportunities you really want to do, and if that means having to sacrifice something else, that's better than trying to do everything.
Art is only great if lots of different people are collaborating. You know, if it's the same voices and the same faces telling stories, we don't make great work.
I would say if you're interested in pursuing the arts, immerse yourself in that environment. Go to as many events as possible, meet people, network, collaborate, explore, and experiment with things. Don't be afraid to try things that haven't been done. I know this sounds quite cliche, but don't be afraid to be yourself, and definitely be inspired by other artists, but forge your own identity. See other things and see what you like, what you don't like, and then develop your own style from that. But the beautiful thing about pursuing a creative career is that you're pursuing something you love, that you're passionate about, and so you get to wake up every day and do what you love. And I don't think it matters about money when you can do that, because I know so many people who are stuck in jobs, in full-time jobs, and they don't love what they're doing, and they have to wake up in the morning groaning, I have to go to work today, whereas we get to wake up and bounce out of bed like, yes, I get to perform today again, I get to write another poem today, I get to work with children today.